First Peter chapter 4, verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Before I get started, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. And may peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully not. I'm your brother Yahweh Call from GMS Orlando. And just through the Spirit, as I was meditating, just dealing with the fact that no man knows the day nor the hour. And although we are hastening for the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, to send His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, nevertheless, again, we don't know. We just don't know how long we've got here. Well, we know it's not long, but again, no man knows the day nor the hour. But in the meantime, while we're here, because, as men, we are to hold ourselves accountable, be responsible, take care of our responsibilities. We can't just have this the attitude of throwing in the towel and saying fuck it, the Lord's about to destroy this place anyways, and pretty much do whatever thou wilt. We can't have that type of a mindset. So again, with that being said, we handle our responsibilities. We take care of what needs to be done. But understanding the times that we're in, all right? Life as we know it is about to change. And any day now, right? But again, we don't know. So with that being said, while we're here, there is nothing wrong with bettering your situation. If you're one to, one that's dealing with financial problems because you're not getting enough hours at the gig or whatever the case may be, there's nothing wrong with finding a better job, again, to better your situation. Being in need of a new vehicle. There's nothing wrong with, through the Spirit of the Lord, putting yourself in a position to where you get a new vehicle, or you plan to move. You want to move to a new crib. You see, none of these things pertaining to, again, bettering our situation. There's nothing wrong with that. But understanding, again, the times that we're in, and knowing that in any day now, all right, this thing is going to set off. And again, life as we know it is about to change. And again, just through the Spirit, because as Yahweh Bashem Yahushai allows us to, as He puts us in a situation to where we can better ourselves. We can do better. We can't forget. We can't get. We can't forget the spirit of prophecy. All right. Because, oftentimes, again, we get caught up in our situation. I'm speaking for myself as well, speaking to myself, rather. Uh, it's so easy because, being a man in this society, I saw a post. Um, it was something along the lines of, it was basically Jake, an older Jake. It was a video, rather, of a birthday, a surprise birthday party, and the reaction on the Jake, he was in total shock because there was a caption, and it read something along the lines of, being that the Jake never had a surprise birthday party or birthday party at all, which, we're not supposed to be celebrating birthdays anyways, for the most part, or at least not going out of our way to celebrate our so-called birthdays. Now, people want to take you out or whatever the case may be, then, by all means, someone, your family wants to take you out to dinner or whatever, by all means, enjoy yourself. But as far as taking it upon yourself to treat yourself on a so-called birthday, that's really a pagan custom. But nevertheless, this Jake, apparently he's never had a birthday party before. And I saw the video because, the Jake, again, he was in total shock. It took him a minute to register what was going on. And, the Jake, he couldn't help but to break down. But the point being, the caption that it read, which is what really caught my attention. It says something along the lines of, being a man is one of the hardest things in the world. Something along those lines. Being that, we're in a society where everything is set up against, mainly, especially the Israelite man. Everything is set up against the Israelite man. I always pose this question, asking a man how he feels, trying to pick the mind of a man, especially an Israelite man. All right, it's an experience that is one of those things you're not going to understand. People are never going to understand. And I use the comparison. Asking for a woman to ask a man for a woman to ask a man what it's like to be pregnant. Well, obviously, men don't get pregnant, so that's an experience that, we're never gonna feel. That's something that we're never gonna be able to understand. And I use that same comparison when it comes to a man, and especially an Israelite man, an elect man, I'll say. All right, because all Israelites deal with the curses one way, shape, form, or fashion. But when it comes to what an elect man of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai has to deal with, the Lord puts a special type of hell and tribulation on his men, on his prophets. All right, that the average Israelite would not be able to deal with whatsoever. All right, but nevertheless, just overall, being an Israelite man, that's just one of those things. People are never going to understand what an Israelite man has to deal with in this society. So going back to that post, all right, or the caption, as far as being a man, that's literally one of the hardest jobs. That's one of the hardest things in the world. You know, and I just say all that to say because again, as men, you know, men juggle a lot. Men deal with a lot. You know, um, so again, I just say all that to say, um, just from the different battles that men deal with mentally, spiritually, financially, physically, all of the above. All right. Um, and as a man, right, I'm going to grab this real quick in Genesis. Bear with me. As I look for this, bear with me. I believe that's Genesis 30. Yes, Genesis 30 and 25. Starting at 25. Genesis 30 and 25. And it came to pass when Rachel had borne Joseph that Jacob said unto Laban, or Laban, send me away that I may go unto mine own place and go to my country. Give me my wives and my children for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. So, knowing this account, if you don't know the account, then read upon it. There's a lot of spiritual gems. But the main gem being that, as far as this particular topic that I'm going into, our forefather Jacob having a certain mindset. He didn't want to be pretty much some freeloader. Living up under another individual or other individuals. Pretty much Jacob, he had the mindset of being on his own and holding down his own, taking care of his own, right? And like I said, as men, as a man, typically, again, we want to be men. We want to be responsible. All right, we want to do the right thing for the most part. Now, unfortunately, in this society, because one thing I noticed as a man, or still learning, of course, always going to be learning. I don't have it down packed yet. The perfection won't come until the kingdom come. But just one thing I've learned, in my short tenure of living, my short lifespan of living, men by nature are protectors, provider of men by nature. Slakia. I was thinking about something else, but men have a certain purpose of servitude. Now it's unfortunate because we're taught in this society to serve the women, the children. Being a family man, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with, as a man, we're supposed to take care of our families. But nothing should come before serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And it only makes sense when we come into this truth. All right. Because again, men by nature, we want to be in servitude to something. That's just our nature. That's just a man's nature, to want to be in servitude to something or someone, And again, it only makes sense as we're called into this truth, being in servitude to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Everything else comes, everything else is it comes after, But as a man, You know, we have that sense of duty, all right, of servitude. You see, so like I said, you know, being that we are still here, and again, we don't know when this thing is going to pop off. We know it can happen in any day, any moment, but we don't know for certain. So, with that being said, again, there's nothing wrong with, you know, bettering your situation. All right. But the point of this video is just to remind Jake not to get too caught up, because the Lord will give you a better job, you know, making more money, you know. But we can, I'm speaking for myself as well, we can tend to forget, you know. That's why, again, forget not the spirit of prophecy. Forget not the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai, which is the spirit of prophecy. All right. Because the Lord is about to destroy this bitch. So we just have to keep those things in the back of our mind. All right. So just, I got a few precepts. I'm going to get this in Luke 21 before it slips my mind. In Luke 21 and 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. So, you know, when we read these scriptures, man, we really gotta internalize these scriptures. You know, read it slow. You know, really, like oftentimes when the scriptures, especially in the Old Testament, you know, after certain scriptures, it'll end off with Selah, which pretty much goes into really meditate on what was being said, you know, to whatever. And really, we ought to really meditate on all these scriptures. All right, because we're going to read this again in Luke 21 and 34. It says, and take heed to yourselves. So be careful. All right. Because it's easy to be in that, let's say, you know, things aren't going your way. It's easy to get caught up like, oh man, I got bills. I got, you know, being that down and out, woe is me spirit. But vice versa, you know, like I said, the Lord might give you a better job, or, you know, might give you a car or whatever, you know. And it's easy to get caught up into to those things as well, you know, to the point where, hey, either way, we could tend to forget. All right. Mind you, whatever Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai brings in our lives or takes away, all right, including people, it's all conducive for us to serving Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, whether we gain or whether we lose, either way, all right, is to better us in our walk, in our servitude to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. So remember that, all right, whatever or whoever we gain or lose is conducive for us in serving Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. But nevertheless, we can't forget the main focus. We can't forget, all right, because it's easy. I say this all the time. It's easy, either way, in gain or loss, to get caught up and forget. So, like I said, take heed to yourselves, to ourselves, right? Lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting, all right? And in 2 Edges 14 tells us, casting off the let me go to it. Matter of fact, before I get that, I'm going to go to this in 2 Edges 7. Because nothing should separate us from salvation, man. Nothing should get in the way of salvation, whether it be a car, a female, a job. You know, again, what do the scriptures tell us? All things are going to be burnt up. All the shit's going to be burnt up. All right. 2 Edges 7. in verse 7. I'm going to start at 15. Now, therefore, why disquietest thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? So, while we, again, why did we get so caught up into this thing, into the things pertaining to this life, rather the things that's to come, rather than the things that we've got in store for us? You know, why get too caught up? Why get too, bent out of shape? Because that's one thing we say it all the time. We don't suffer any losses on this side. There's no losses. All right. There's no losses. All right. Only lessons. All right. Because everything here is temporary. Everything is temporary. So don't get too caught up, man. The Lord's going to give us certain things. The Lord's going to take away certain things. But none of this shit means anything. All right. All this shit is small. None of this shit means anything. So go on to 2 Edges 14. Second Edges 14 and 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Like I say, and I always say, all this shit is small to a God, man, to a king. This shit doesn't mean nothing to a God, man. All right. The things pertaining, the bills and, all this shit is mortal. It's mortal talk. These are the things that the heathens think about. All this vanity, shit that doesn't mean nothing. It says, cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. Stressing about shit that's not even in our control. As long as we're doing what we're supposed to do in sincerity and in truth, the Lord's going to take care of all of our needs. All right. The Lord's going to give us what we need. All right. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. So, there it is, man. Again, life as we know it is about to change. And like I said, just meditating, because there's a lot going on. There's too much to speak on, just as far as prophecy. From the threat of NATO going to war with Russia, the threat of Babylon separating from NATO and the EU, which Trump, he's that's what's in the talks as of right now. That's what's being rumored, threatening to leave off from NATO and the EU, which is going to lead to Revelation 17. All right, or I'll say that's pretty much like a catalyst. All right, here it is. This is so much going on. So much going on. It's being said certain nations are being pretty much preparing for it, because you got all these nations, man, especially European nations, pretty much telling their citizens to, gear up, because it's being, again, just said speculation, rumor about an EMP attack, because, with this whole Western allies supplying Ukraine with these weapons that they're using against Russia. Well, Russia is everyone's suspecting Russia to retaliate, So, there's just a lot going on. And that's just what had me meditating, because like I said, me myself, just making certain moves, all right, to better my situation. But again, just got to keep in the back of our minds, if that's the case, to whom it applies, this shit is about to be over with. This shit is about to change. You know, Going back to that Luke 21 and verse 34 again. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with fighting. All right. Doing too much, doing too much, burdening ourselves with the matter of fact, reading on, it says in drunkenness and cares of this life. So you see, getting too caught up into the things of this life, man, it reminds me of Lot's wife. Obviously, Lot, he had plenty of substance. All right, because Lot's wife, she had all the jewelry, and she was decked the hell out. They were so-called rich, wealthy, because there's a difference between rich and wealthy. Lot, obviously, he was wealthy, and when it came time to depart from those wealths, all right, from those riches, we know the account. All right, Lot's wife didn't make it. All right, she didn't make it. All right. And that's why, our apostle stress about living a minimalist type of lifestyle, just the bare necessities, just enough. Just be content. But again, there's nothing wrong with, again, man, if you need another job, a better job, whatever the case may be, to better your situation, there's nothing wrong with that. We use the world, but we don't abuse it. And again, we can get too caught up into these things and we could tend to forget. So again, that's the point of this video. This message, just don't forget, don't get too caught up into the drunkenness and the cares of this life, over burdening ourselves. All right. That way, when you read on, it says, and so that day come upon you unawares. So you see, the minute you get that job, or the minute you get that new car or whatever, and you forget, man, you start slipping, right? You start, distancing yourself from Yahweh Bashmal Shai, then boom, you're gonna end up dying right along with that car or that job. All right, whatever the case may be, that new crib or whatever, It says, for as a snare shall it come upon all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. So you see, man, hey, comfort kills, and being in that spirit of peace and safety, that spirit of security is going to catch everyone outside of the elect off guard. It's going to catch all these people unawares. But when you read on, it says, watch ye therefore and pray always. All right, that's why I read that First Peter. All right, being sober. All right, being sober, man. Be mindful. Stay clear-headed. Doesn't mean that you can't have a drink or whatnot, but more importantly, man, be circumspect. Be aware. I remember the Apostle Gabar brought out the forest bathing, which when pretty much, because the scriptures tell us to be circumspect, and when it comes to forest bathing, pretty much, when you go out, let's say you go for a nature walk, it's good, it's healthy, because when you go out to walk in nature, it just you pretty much heighten your senses. You're just more. Because, obviously walking, going for nature walks, you're around the trees and nature, you're just more clear-headed, you're just more aware, paying attention to more details, of your surroundings, right? You're just more in tune spiritually. You're more in tune. And I apply that concept just in general, when it comes to forest bathing, just apply that concept in general. Just aware, you know, of the times, of my surroundings, of prophecy, what's going on, you know. Because again, it said in verse 36, "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man." So you see, man. All right. Again, everything that the Lord gives us or takes away is conducive. It's conducive for us in our servitude to Yahweh Shema Shah. So don't get too caught up into the things pertaining to this life. All right. Forget not the spirit of prophecy. Forget not the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. Because it's exactly what these things, we can get choked up, man. And we could lose ourselves. Whether we got too much, whether we got too little, either way. But just don't forget, Lord willing, this was edifying. Call Halayim, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shalom to you, hopefully you let.